Hello everybody, I'm trying this with the selfie stick while trying to take the dog for a walk. So if any of my neighbors look out and see me talking into my phone, they're gonna think, she really is nuts. Dig my son's hat on my head. So here I am, walking the dog, walking Miss Nola, and kind of in a mixed mood today. I hate my life of not being near my family on Christmas has kind of gone bye-bye. But I'm really just ready for 2016 to be done. Just all these people who keep dying. The first one this year that really bothered me was Alan Rickman because, well, I'm kind of a dramatic person, for those of you who haven't figured that out. And I just think Alan Rickman was such an amazing actor. He was an amazing person. Alan Rickman was very grounded. He was very people-minded. My understanding is he was an active participant in the Labor Party, which is, I would guesstimate, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, similar to our Democratic Party in the United States. He was a learned person, but he never really had a frou-frou attitude, which is what I aspire to be. I want to know a lot about life. I want to know about other people. I like learning about people who think, feel different than I do. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people, I think, are afraid of the different. I'm just afraid of selfie sticks that don't want to work. No. A lot of people are afraid of what they don't know, are afraid of what's different, are afraid of the unusual, the unknown. And I think that's terrible. If you live your life in that amount of fear, what kind of enjoyment can you really achieve from that? The comedy, he had great comedic timing, he had great dramatic flair, and he had a wonderful personality. And I believe we lost him way too young. He had a lot of life left. And that just reminds everyone to never forget to live each day like it's your last, because Lord knows it could be. Don't be afraid of that, though. Don't be afraid of the fact that we don't know when this roller coaster ride's going to end. I think we need to embrace every turn and every curve and every hill and every valley and live every turn, curve, hill, and valley like it's an experience that's only going to happen once. So we lost Alan. The next one that really got me was Prince. I never really appreciated Prince until I was older. When I was younger, who definitely, and I mean, I grew up in a conservative area. It wasn't just my family. It was a very WASP-ish area of the country where, you know, we weren't taught to fear people who weren't white on purpose, but we were taught it accidentally simply because we all were white. We were all of European descent, if you want to be politically correct. Very little differentiation. Then we had the army base in our backyard expand dramatically, and I think I was like in 3rd grade when that happened. And all of a sudden, all of these new people started appearing in our world, and they looked different. And I think a lot of natives to the area of the world that I grew up in were afraid of that because it was unknown. You know, we knew everybody. Everyone knew each other. You couldn't you couldn't swear on the playground and get home to your house without your parents already knowing about it. because everyone knew everyone. You know, if we did something wrong, we were getting called on it. And that's very refreshing. That's, as a parent, I can say that. As a kid, that was awful. But I can see, as a parent myself now, as a 40-something mom, there was a safety in the knowledge of that. There was a safety in knowing who lived near you, and there was a safety that we could help each other, we could depend on each other. And I think when the local army base expanded exponentially, by the way, became one of the biggest army bases I believe that we still have in our country to this day, the influx of new faces and new cultures and new peoples, really, a lot of people did not know how to handle it the best, safest way because of the unknown. I think I was lucky in the fact that I grew up in that, because I actually thought it was neat to see people who looked different. Why? Because I've always looked different. I've always been the fat kid. I've always been the one people looked at and teased because I didn't look like anybody else. So when I saw other people come in who were black or brown, or maybe their eyes had a slant to them that other people didn't have that I grew up with, it was like, look, there's others who look different like me. So even though someone might look at me and say, well, you're, you know, a white lady and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I am. But when you grow up in a small town of 600 people and you weigh 60 pounds when you're 3 years old, it's just fodder for the making fun. Wow, I just had a revelation. Maybe that's why I like people who are different so much. Because I'm different. Accidentally. Who needs a therapist? Getting back to Prince. When Prince first hit the scene, he was incredibly sexual. He was incredibly risque, incredibly taboo. And I remember I had a cousin who was a couple years older than me who got the Prince album. I can't remember which one it was. It was the one, or the name of it. My husband would know just by the description, because my husband ironically grew up in Minneapolis. The one where he was like naked on the cover and just covering his bits and pieces. And my uncle, her father, just having a conniption. Hello. Having a conniption about that video, about that album, and the fact that his daughter had bought it. And I was there when she got it. And I remember him just having many choice words to say. So there was something about listening to this taboo, you know, we're not supposed to really be listening to this music type stuff because it's bad, but it's so good because it's bad. But I never really appreciated Prince's musicality until I got older. And I think that speaks to the fact that it was so complex. He used the taboo, he used the overt sexuality to hook people in. And I think that's who he was at that age. I mean, he was in his early 20s. As I got older, my husband really, really introduced me to Prince a lot more than just the pop hits that came about when I was a kid. Because, like I said, he is from Minneapolis and he adored Prince. And it was beyond the fact that he was from Minneapolis, although I'm sure that probably did play a factor. My husband is a musician himself in his own right, and he recognized the musicality of the man. And I actually really admired his older stuff when he grew a little and his view on life changed. And when he passed, knowing what we know about how it happened makes me so frustrated, because it shouldn't have. I am not about to I'm not about downing anyone's faith. I'm not about downing anyone's beliefs. But I don't understand. I'm sorry. If a hip replacement would have saved him years of drug abuse on his body. Not drug abuse for fun, but drug abuse for living. I don't understand how it's better to do that than to have a hip replacement. My father's had 4 different hip surgeries, and I'm pretty confident that for all of them, he would donate his own blood, because you're going to lose a good amount of blood when you have something like that done. And then he would have that blood reintroduced to him as needed during the surgery. I can appreciate and understand to a point the accepted Jehovah's Witness thoughts on that. But if it's your own blood, I don't get why they can't accept that. I don't. I'm sorry. So again, someone's faith, someone's beliefs led to a very untimely demise. It was not time for him to go. Then again, maybe that was the end of his path. If you're the kind of person who I am, similar to my beliefs, who believes that, you know, your life has a path, maybe he had reached the end. Maybe that was his path. I don't know. Let's see who else died. A lot of people. This might end up being a 2-parter, 3-parter.